Hi, everyone. So, today, as promised, I want to talk to you about a journey that I've been through in the last year and a half. And it's quite a deep, personal journey. I'm wanting to share this with you because it has been so transformative for me, more than really anything else I've been doing for the last like 8 to 10 years. I know everything has its own time and place, and everything has contributed on my journey in its own way, right? But now it's when I'm seeing the biggest shift in terms of self growth, self development, in terms of the work that I'm doing internally and how much that is impacting my external reality. And that's why I really want to share this with you, because it has been having such an important, like, big impact in my life that I really believe it's something that can contribute to a lot of people. And it's something that I took a while to start. Like, I've been hearing about, like journaling, writing down your dreams, these kind of things for quite a while, but it's something that I always resisted somehow. Like, I thought it was just a waste of time, or I didn't know where to start, what I would write about, like all those things. And last, well, it was the end of 2023. So I think I started around September, October. So, yeah, around that time. So, in the end of the year. So, it's now 1 year and a half kind of thing since I started doing that. So, I decided I was going to do two things that I wanted to start. So, that I've never done before, or I done like once or twice and never did it again. I really wanted to set those as routines for myself, as habits. And it was the writing down a gratitude list at night before going to sleep. So I write 10 things in my list before going to sleep. And I try as much as possible to feel it, not just write, okay, I'm grateful for this. No, I write what I'm grateful for, and I write a little bit more to go in the depths kind of thing of the feeling of it, like to really feel in my body the gratitude I have for that specific thing. And the other thing is to every morning write down my dreams from that night. And why did I start doing this? With the dreams, I started doing it because there were certain dreams that I was having on a loop, since I was quite young actually. And there were dreams that would come up again and again and again over the years. And maybe sometimes they wouldn't be present for a few months or even a couple of years maybe, and then they would come back again. And some of them were those kind of dreams that make you really uncomfortable. Like, when you wake up, you feel not good, you feel weird, and it kind of like impacts your day, and you don't know why you had that dream, but you just kind of like try to brush it off because it's not a positive thing, right? So it's like, okay, no, I'm going to focus on the positive. I'm not going to look into that, and it's going to go away. And the truth is, it never did really went away over the years. So at this time, I felt I had to go deeper. I had to write it down somehow. So, because I also heard about doing that, right? And more people talking about that. So, like, here and there, I don't feel like it's something that we hear a lot about, but here and there you hear some people talking about it. if you are connected to these kind of things in some way. So I decided to do it, and in a matter of maybe 3, 4, 6 months, in the first 6 months, I already started seeing shifts, like a lot of them. So the dreams that I was having, um, some of them were quite dark, like really heavy dreams, those that you wake up really scared, afraid. It really makes you feel bad. Like you feel it in your body, like it's something that is running somewhere, like in your subconscious, whatever that is, from past lives or something somehow as well related to things in this life. But I believe that some things that we experience in this life are also connected to things that we couldn't really heal in other lives. So yeah, I started writing it down. And just to give you like an idea, I'm not going to tell you all my dreams, it wouldn't be really possible. Just to give you an idea, most part of my dreams were these ones that would create a lot of bad feeling, really, in my body, in my spirit. It would be me running away from something, and usually it was men. So I was running or trying to run from men, but they were like really dark dreams. So there was mostly someone, a man, usually running after me, and to like it's so interesting that when I talk, when I start speaking about this, my microphone goes off, and I kept on talking, and then I realized, thankfully not too long after, that I was not recording anything because of the microphone. So if I haven't seen this before, I would think it's a coincidence, and yeah, it really is like really curious, because I was just going into the most like vulnerable and sensitive part about all of this that I'm sharing here. So as I was saying, most of my dreams were usually me running away or trying to run away from men that were mostly in the dreams like going after me to do something not so good. So, or like to kill me or to abuse me. It was always this kind of energy, and it was like really dark, really heavy, and really, how to say it, like really stressful, and fearful. Yeah, like just a lot of fear involved. And also this sense of I wanted to do something about it and I couldn't. So for example, I wanted to run away from them. I wanted to run to escape them, and I couldn't. Like my body wouldn't move with me. Like it's like I couldn't really move my body. It was like I was really running in slow motion, but like super slow motion. It's like I couldn't really move. I couldn't scream. I couldn't speak. I had no voice, so I couldn't speak. I couldn't scream for help. I wanted to ask for help, and I couldn't. And it was so like terrifying. It was, yeah, like really like terrifying in some ways. And really like you just feel hopeless. Yeah, that's the word that I was looking for. And you just feel hopeless in the sense of you cannot do anything. You cannot run, you cannot scream, ask for help. No one is really listening to you. And the other thing that I would try to do when they would like catch me would be to defend myself. So like to try to punch them or kick them, or but usually it was punching, and I couldn't move my arms, or I would go like this really slow motion, and I wouldn't even hit them, or if I would, it was just like a soft touch, like, what are you doing? Now it seems so funny to speak about it like this, but in fact, it was so annoying, so hopeless, so frustrating. Yeah, frustrating, a lot of frustration in there because I was trying to defend myself and I had no strength. Like my arms had no strength to even give a punch, to try and escape from that situation. Yeah, so mostly this. I couldn't run, I couldn't defend myself, I couldn't scream and ask for help, I couldn't do anything. So it was like I was just allowing this energy, this mistreatment, these people running after me and or to kill me or to abuse me, and there was nothing I could do. And this was so frustrating, and this fearful energy around it. I think you get the idea, right? And it's not that I would have these dreams all the time. Many times I wouldn't really remember my dreams, but when I would, it would be like these dreams most of the time, or like something not so significant. But these dreams would be like since I was young. I cannot really recall the first time I had them. I have no idea, but I can see how I would have them along the years, and like here and there they would pop up. And in the last few years, or in this time when I decided to start writing them down, they were coming on strong. So that's also why I decided to do it. And probably this energy was coming up to truly be seen, acknowledged, and released, because there was a lot of fear attached to it, right? This energy of fear, this energy of hopelessness, frustration. So what I would usually do when having these dreams would be like not really wanting to look at them. I was like, oh my God, what such a weird dream, why? But you just continue with your day, with your life, and you don't think about it, you don't acknowledge them, you don't really see them, you try like to avoid it as much as possible because it's something like negative, not as good. So yeah, you just want to go past it and that's it. But it kept on going, right? Because we don't see it, we don't acknowledge it, we don't really understand what's there, what's the message in there for us. We cannot really release it. And when I made this choice to start writing my gratitude list at night and to write my dreams in the morning, there started to happen shifts. So the dreams itself started to shift. The energy was still there, but it was not as heavy, as dark, and it started to change a little bit. So usually the dream would be quite more of the same kind of situation, the same kind of energy, the same kind of heaviness. But as I started writing it down constantly, like regularly, even if I didn't have like really specific dreams like this, something a bit more irrelevant, that it looks like irrelevant, I would still write it down, even if it was just like 4 lines, about the dream, but I would write it down anyway. It's about the habit, and sometimes what seems like irrelevant dreams also still have messages there for you. So I recommend you do, and you practice like these habits, daily habits of really looking at your dreams, because it's the subconscious, what's engraved somehow in your subconscious that is coming up. And when we allow, because some dreams we don't really remember, but the ones that we do, if we start like acknowledging them and seeing them while we are writing them, what happens is we can be aware of the messages that are in there for us, and then we start understanding like, oh wow, okay, this is the message. So we start acting differently in our daily lives because we see what the messages are from the dreams and what we are in fact believing in our subconscious mind that is creating that in our realities. Even if it's just in our dreams, it's something that is still buried, that we didn't scoop up, right? We didn't clean up, we didn't release. And it's so important so we can move forward and create more meaningful lives and lives that are more aligned with our desires. Because sometimes we think, okay, why can't I have the life I so desire? Like, I'm so positive, I think about the things that I want, and blah, blah, blah. But then these repressed things that are there, that we are choosing not to see, and we don't realize that we are doing it, but we are actually choosing not to see them. When we start choosing to see it and writing it down and acknowledging all of it, we are processing it. And while we are processing it, we can then make a choice, a conscious choice, because we saw what was there, to make a different choice moving forward. To, okay, I'm not running away from the fears, I am looking at the fears and being compassionate with myself, because those fears are showing me something about, or about this lifetime, the type of treatment in this case that I had from men, for example, or in other lifetimes, whatever that is, that is still in my system somehow. And my body is holding on to it, my soul is holding on to it, it's in my subconscious for a reason. So I choose to look at it, because until we do it and we reprogram our subconscious, we cannot really move forward and change and create the changes and things that we want in our lives, because the subconscious is a big part of it and is always going to run the show. And what's amazing is that when we start doing this like clearing work, if you want to call it like that, because it really feels like it. When I was just doing it, I was not even imagining the kind of impact that it would have. I just knew I had to do it. And I had this feeling of, okay, I'm going to do it. And it really started shifting so much. It's incredible. And it's like these heaviness, these fears around men, and not just that, but that ends up impacting all areas of our lives, started creating changes, and my dream started to shift. That's the point that I wanted to bring as well, that after maybe a couple of months, 3 months, I already was seeing how the dreams were actually shifting and changing. And it's so interesting because the energy was there somehow. At the same time, was still there, the man coming to do something. But I slowly but surely, and one step at a time, like one dream after the other, I started gaining my power. It's like I was having my power back. Took a while for me to recognize this, okay? Because it took many months, maybe 6-9 months, for the shift to be that big. Maybe not that much, actually. Like 4 to 6 months, I was already seeing like a big shift, and my dreams completely like changed from that really dark me running and not really running because I couldn't move, for like a bit like brighter dreams. Well, okay, the fear was still there, I was still running, but I started to be able to, to run, to and to speak. I could actually, I started gaining my voice back. So it was really funny to see this, because like week after week, month after month, I started being able to move my body and to respond to what was happening outside, to defend myself, or to, yeah, actually to defend myself as well. And it's actually funny, the one that is coming to me, because one was like, I felt that I couldn't still have the strength in my arms to react, to defend myself. And the man was trying to grab me. He was grabbing me, and I didn't feel like I had any kind of strength to let go of that besides biting him. So I bit him really strong, and it's so weird because in the dream, it's like I could feel I like some skin and even maybe a bit of flesh in my mouth, you know? And you were like, oh my god, this is. But he let go. He let go, and then I was like cleaning my mouth, like, oh my god, this is disgusting. But you know, this I know this may sound so silly, but this is so relevant. I am having goosebumps, chills, because for such a long time I didn't pay attention to it. And when I started paying attention to it and really processing it and acknowledging, okay, maybe I really was mistreated in other lifetimes. I already had a lot of people telling me that from kinds of like therapies, a lot of things that I did in this self-development work, and a lot of things would go to that space. In this lifetime, I cannot say that these things like this happened, but you know, those slight behaviors, those slight things that have the same energy but don't look as bad. But the intentions and the harm are there, you know? So, yeah, I started acknowledging that it doesn't matter if if I think it's weird, or if I think, what's the point of me looking at what happened in other lifetimes, whatever. But really, when I just stopped thinking about the weirdness of it or whatever, and I just decided to write it down and acknowledging it and processing it, it started shifting and shifting and shifting. And there was one dream that was, oh my god, I'm having so many chills now. That was so like a turning point, and I had never had a dream like that before. But it was so curious. I was like in a big mall, shopping mall, and there was this guy with me that was like telling me he was gonna kill me, but outside of the shopping mall or something like that. So he was like, you have to come with me. And I was like, of course I don't want to go with you. But it was something like that. And then he went one way, I went the other way. I was trying to run away from him, but he had access to like controlling the shopping mall, the doors, how to open and close the doors. So he was in control of everything that was going on. So I didn't have, it's like he wanted to make me feel that I didn't have any choice, even if he was like going in one direction and I was going in another one. He would catch me. But then in that dream, I think it was the first one where I actually had the courage to go and talk to some guys that were there in the shopping mall working there, and I asked for help. And one of them realized that yes, he recognized that that man had a weird look to him and that he has seen him before, and he remembered. So when I talked about it, he recognized it right away. And then he took me out of there through like those passages for the people that work in the shopping malls, you know. So he took me to a house, you know, through like a path, a walk that led to a house that was like quite hidden. And inside of that house was this lady that did like these rituals. And this was so funny because I'm not really a ritual person. Like I meditate, I do yoga, I do some things, but not really like those rituals as many people do, and it's okay. But it's not something that I really do for myself. And it was so interesting because there were more people there. And basically, she put us all in a circle. And then she was telling me how that story that that I was being chased and all of that was not real. It was like in a different timeline, in a different reality. Like it's just a story. It was so curious, and she, what she did is like she changed it. She cleared it in that ritual, and she told me like I would be safe from there on. Like this is so weird to tell you because I never had a dream like that before. And when I woke up, I was like, what the hell just happened? I just felt somehow I was in a different reality. And this woman was just helping me, my soul, heal and clear all those things and all that story that was from past lives, whatever. So I could move forward without that attachment anymore in my life, in my dreams, whatever, in my reality, in my DNA, whatever. And so that happened, and then someone knocked on the door, and I was still with that shock. Okay, it's him. It's gonna get me. And she was like, it's not gonna be him, but there was still this fear, like maybe it is. So then they opened the door. It was not him, and I basically felt like I had to go out of there. I felt like I had to get out of there anyway. I thanked them, and then they lent me a car so I could just go. And yeah, that's what I remember. But it was so incredible because the truth is, from that point on, this took a few months to happen since I started doing this journaling about the dreams, but it was not that long anyway, and it was incredible, the shift. And after that, I started having like dreams. I still had dreams with men, but completely different, not those dreams anymore. Now was just like this kind of dreams where, you know, you are having some interaction with men that it doesn't feel healthy to you. So it started being more like a this lifetime kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. um, it started to be like a this lifetime kind of thing. So I was more in the here and now, still in the past, but more in the past of this lifetime. And I was clearing that. So other lifetimes was cleared, you know, with that ritual that the woman did in the dream. And from then on, everything started to be much lighter. So yeah, I kept on doing, and I'm still doing it. And the shifts have been incredible. It has been 1.5 years now, almost, and the shifts are amazing. And now in the dream, somehow, sometimes it still comes, you know, things that I don't want, but it's more like these details about, okay, I don't want a man that looks at me like that or behaves like this, but nothing, you know, that bad. It's just like, okay, I'm just setting the intentions, and in the dreams, I'm aware of the men that show up, and I'm like, no, this is not the kind of relationship I want yet. And then when I do the work of writing it down, I'm also at the same time setting the intentions of what I want. And so it's like I'm progressing, you know? And it's getting better and better and better. And it's like I'm actually in my dream seeing things closer to what I want. And then I get to say, okay, still like this. Yes, this part I like. This part I don't like. I want something more like this. And it's like somehow, because I've been like in the last 8 years, I had so many different experiences since I left my almost 9 year relationship that I'm like, I don't want to have this kind of situationships or relationships anymore. So it's like my dreams are just living or building these examples of the things that I could experience. And I'm like, okay, this yes, this no, this yes, this no. And I'm setting intentions day by day of, okay, I like this, I don't like this. And not just with men, my dreams are not just about that, but even about what I'm experiencing in the dreams, a lot about school time. So processing a lot of the doing what others are doing because it is what looks like it's right, and people say that I should do, but it doesn't feel right to me. So a lot of times in the dreams, I didn't feel that I belonged there, like at school with my colleagues. And yeah, so a lot of these as well started to showing up in dreams, which was quite interesting because it was not something that I would dream of. Um, and yeah, so what I want to say with all this is has been so transformative, and it shifted so incredibly much that the more I did it, the more I started being more and more grateful about it and about me doing this kind of work, because in the beginning you don't see that many shifts, so you think maybe it's not gonna happen much, because I was doing because I felt I had to do it somehow, but I didn't know it was going actually to change it, not that much anyway. And it did, and it keeps evolving and evolving and growing and expanding. And I never thought I would make a video about this in my life. But I really feel this call, like, when you feel like somehow it's God, the universe, life, whatever, something inside of you that says this has been such an important thing for you, and this can be such an important thing for other people as well. So it's like your assignment is to share it, because it will help other people. And again, when we hear about and we talk about the shadow work, this is it for me. Like, not just that, of course, a lot of things are involved in that, but this is a big part of it, because it's when you are looking to your subconscious, in a way of things start to come up. If they start to come up from your subconscious to your conscious level, when you are able to remember it, right, in the dreams, in this case, is when you start being able to process it. And if it's coming up to the light, to the conscious, is for you to release it. Like, it's time, you are ready to release it. So just process it, whatever you need to, recognize it and release it, let it go. And the more you do it, the more it comes up. And it's like, what I felt really is like, because I was ready to, and I started doing it, it's like my subconscious was, okay, you're ready for more, so I'm going to give you more. You're ready for more, so I'm going to give you more. And it has been so expansive. I haven't really used to dream that much. Most nights I would, don't remember what I dreamed. Sometimes I would have one dream or another, but not every night. And in the last year and a half, and a bit more than that, because I was already living that, I was like dreaming every single night for a few months already, when I decided to, okay, I have to do something about this. I never dreamed this much. So I'm still living that reality. Like, it has been like, probably 2 years that I've been dreaming like every single night, so much. One or another night, like, I don't remember really the dream. I know I dreamed, but I don't remember. But that's really like just here and there, because most of the time I am dreaming every single night, and more than one dream, 1, 2, 3, 4, like, it's crazy. But again, the dreams are things that feel like they are quite fast sometimes. Sometimes they are longer, but sometimes they are fast. So you don't spend that much time writing them down. If you have time and some things and some dreams really ask you to dig a little bit deeper, I feel, if you have the time, please do it, because you process even more, even deeper, and the evolution and the growth that it brings and the shifts that it brings is amazing. So yeah, I really wanted to share this. I hope it can be really of a benefit to you. I feel it is, and I felt really called to do this, and I just knew I had to. And I hope it reaches whoever needs this, and I hope it inspires you to do this kind of work for yourself. Feel into whatever feels best to you, because we all have our own ways of doing it. But one thing that is important, because it's something that I used to think, not feel, think, which is, we know, thinking is not really the most productive thing to do. What I used to think was, oh, I process it in my mind. I don't need to write it down. It will take too long. It will take too much of my time. But no, it's totally different. Once you really express it out and don't keep it inside of you, because it's still inside of you in your mind, or you speak to someone about it and you are processing it, but I feel still it's good, it's very good. But if you can process it with yourself, writing it down and putting it on paper or on the computer, whatever, it really is a huge shift. Like, that is something really special. And yeah, that's it. I really wanted to share this with you, and I hope it can really transform your lives, because yeah, sometimes these dreams are not anything like we are experiencing and living in our daily lives, thankfully. But it's something that we have within us for a reason. Our souls want to process it. There's something that hasn't still been processed as it needs to. And we have to, even if we don't understand sometimes our process and why are we doing the things that we are doing, sometimes we just have to trust and to honor ourselves and our process, and have compassion for ourselves and for our inner child. I think sometimes it's also that, like, how much our inner child, our little girl and little boy inside of us, didn't have the support and the compassion and the nurturing, the caring that they needed to process and to go through certain things in life, that now they are coming up to be seen. And we need to be our own parents and do it for our inner kid, our inner child, our little boy and girl that didn't receive the attention and learn to pass through the fears and don't listen to them anyway. No, it's good to recognize our fears and to turn it into passion, into love, instead of pushing them away. Because when we push it away, we are not using that for us, we are using it against us, because we are repressing it, suppressing it, and it's building up. It's like it's building up these heavy weights that we have inside of us that are like our past, and that pulls us down and don't let us move forward. When we feel like our lives are not moving forward as we want them to, it's like that. We have all of that stuff that we didn't want to look at that are there pulling us down, and that's why things are not moving forward. So when we look at it, instead of hiding it away and pushing it down, we look at it and then we release it. And we can just choose what we want to carry forward with us and what we want to just release. Because it's like it just does for itself. Because the kid, right, when he's being seen and acknowledged for something that he's fearful of, when he's being cared for at that time, he can choose. He feels loved, and when you feel loved, you are transmuting that fear into love, and it just sends light into the fear. Somehow it's like, okay, it's okay. It's okay that you're there. It's okay to have fear. You alchemize it into the love, into the passion, into the presence, into the, okay, I'm good, I'm fine, everything's fine, everything's okay. This is what I wanted to share with you today. I really hope it inspires you and that creates many, many amazing shifts in your life, and that you use this tool, that you use this as a tool to create your most amazing life, and to listen to your heart, and to really connect to what's inside of you, the good and the bad, right? The fears and the love and the passions and all of that. Because with that, you can, instead of having this weight against you, this power against you, you are taking all the power back and coming into the center of yourself with all the power, and transmuting it all into this fire, into this passion, into this love, so you can create a life you desire, that we have in our hearts to create, that we are being guided towards, but we kind of lost our way in the middle of it. So this is a powerful tool, really. I know it, and I'm sure it can help a lot of people in their own processes, and I hope you are one of them. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, and I will see you in the next one.